Cold winds circled Umara village before sunset arrived, carrying an uneasy silence that seemed to settle over every roof and pathway. Hunter Zaire carried animal skins across muddy pathways silently, his weathered eyes scanning the village as though searching for something only he could sense. Elder Coven watched distant forest beside dying firewood quietly, studying the dark tree line with a look that suggested old memories were returning. Widow Elira folded blankets beside broken clay lanterns nightly, finding comfort in familiar routines while the village slowly changed around her. Young Tavi followed Hunter Zoar through silent, empty farmlands, eager to learn from the hunter, despite the growing fear spreading across Umara. Blacksmith Rulan hammered iron beneath glowing furnace sparks heavily, each strike echoing through the village like a warning no one fully understood. Priestess Mila burned herbs beside ancient carved stone walls carefully, her solemn rituals growing longer as strange events increased. Farmer Joran dragged wooden carts across flooded village roads, struggling through the muddy water while dark clouds gathered overhead. Old midwife Sani counted sleeping children beside cracked doorways, checking each face carefully before whispering quiet prayers for protection. Fisher Varro untangled wet ropes beside dark riverbanks slowly, glancing often toward the water whenever unusual sounds drifted across the surface. Blind drummer Nico touched tree bark before beating rhythms, listening closely to vibrations that seemed to carry messages from unseen places. Twins Lyra and Luma hid beneath abandoned grain shelters, clutching each other tightly whenever strange noises echoed through the night. Guard Fenric carried torches through narrow, crowded market alleys, determined to maintain order, even as fear spread among the villagers. Quiet Salah washed blankets beside frightened, hungry villagers nightly, offering gentle comfort through simple acts of kindness. Young Naren gathered feathers outside forgotten burial grounds silently, noticing unusual signs that others were too afraid to acknowledge. Tall Braco carried water through exhausted village pathways daily, helping neighbors while watching for signs of danger. Little Pina watched shadows beneath broken temple stairways fearfully, convinced something was moving where no living creature should be. Carver Dren shaped wooden masks beside smoking candle flames, unaware that his creations were beginning to resemble faces from his nightmares. Goatherd Vessa searched hills beneath circling black vultures silently, growing increasingly concerned about the disappearance of her animals. Chief Orlan guarded secrets behind locked wooden palace doors, carrying a burden he refused to share with anyone. Hunter Zaire heard strange breathing beneath ancient forest trees, and for the first time in many years, uncertainty entered his heart. Tavi noticed footprints beside graves without returning footsteps afterward, leaving him with questions he could not answer. Priestess Mila avoided Hunter Zaire whenever darkness approached nearby, as though she feared what he might eventually discover. Blind drummer Neko sensed spirits crossing abandoned river bridges, their presence lingering like distant echoes carried by the wind. Old midwife Sani buried charms beneath sleeping infants quietly, hoping ancient protections would still hold against whatever was approaching. Guard Fenric stopped smiling after moonless evenings arrived suddenly, his confidence fading with each passing night. Tall Braco discovered blood beside sacred mountain pathways yesterday, and the sight left him deeply unsettled. Little Pina trembled whenever distant whistles echoed through valleys, feeling as though the sounds were calling her name. Chief Orlan ordered silence throughout frightened village gatherings immediately, preventing questions that threatened to reveal hidden truths. Widow Elira remembered forgotten names during terrible rainstorms nightly, recalling faces that many villagers had long since forgotten. Hunter Zare entered forests nobody crossed after sunset anymore, determined to uncover the source of the growing darkness. Farmer Joran abandoned crops beneath swaying black scarecrows permanently, no longer willing to risk entering the cursed fields. Twins Lyra and Luma heard breathing beneath floorboards nightly, lying awake and listening to sounds that should not exist. Fisher Varro found human bones tangled inside broken fishing nets, confirming fears that many villagers had tried to ignore. Carver Dren carved screaming faces without understanding terrifying nightmares, each mask becoming more unsettling than the last. Young Naren spotted eyeless birds above frozen riverbanks yesterday, watching them circle endlessly against the gray sky. Goatherd Vessa discovered missing goats beside ancient stone circles, finding only silence where life should have. Priestess Myla burned sacred scrolls before terrified villagers silently, choosing destruction over allowing dangerous knowledge to survive. Blacksmith Rulin locked iron doors before darkness deepened completely, unwilling to leave anything to chance. Chief Orlin refused questions beside trembling oil lanterns nightly, his silence speaking louder than any answer. Hunter Zare followed whispers toward forgotten underground tunnels, cautiously, knowing there would be no turning back. Tavai carried torches behind Hunter Zare without speaking afterward, sensing the danger growing with every step. Shadows crawled slowly beside dripping tunnel stone walls underneath silently, moving in ways that defied reason. Blind drummer Nico heard chains rattling beneath hidden earth chambers, and the sound filled him with dread. Old
Merciful
midwife
spirits,
Sani prayed quietly beside
shield us
shivering
from the
village children,
darkness.
refusing to abandon
Watch
hope
over these
despite the fear
innocent
surrounding
ones.
them. Sela covered little Pina during
all right,
violent
my love.
midnight thunderstorms
The storm will
gently,
pass.
shielding
We are
her from
safe
both the
and
storm
warm
and
right
her
here.
nightmares. Tall Bracco guarded entrances beside shaking frightened villagers silently, standing firm while others struggled with fear. God Fenric vanished suddenly, beneath collapsing wooden staircases below, disappearing before anyone could help him. Twins Lyra and Luma discovered Fenric beside underground waters, and the sight left them frozen with horror. Guard Fenric stared upward without breathing or blinking anymore, his expression forever trapped in fear. Priestess Myela
The
finally
ancestors
revealed
demand
ancient
their
hidden
dues.
village
The
curses
pact made in
tonight,
shadow is broken,
exposing
and the
secrets
great
buried
beast
for
awakens.
generations.
We stand.
Chief Orlin once traded villagers for forbidden protection rituals, believing sacrifice would keep greater horrors away. Widow Elira lowered her face beside dying firelight silently, overwhelmed by the painful truth. Farmer Joran remembered missing brothers beneath earlier harvest seasons, realizing how much had already been lost. Hunter Zare clenched fists beside trembling, frightened Tavi silently, preparing himself for what must come next. Blacksmith Rulin smashed cursed idols beside collapsing temple pillars, refusing to let fear control his actions. Shadows screamed loudly beneath burning underground burial chambers endlessly, their voices filling the darkness with terror. Carver Dren covered ears beside cracking stone sculptures desperately, unable to endure the horrifying sounds. Young Naren carried little Pina through falling ashes carefully, protecting her as chaos erupted around them. Fisher Varro pulled survivors toward flooded tunnel openings quickly, helping them escape before everything collapsed. Goatherd Vessa guided frightened villagers across slippery cliff paths silently, leading them toward safety through dangerous terrain. Blind drummer Nico beat rhythms beneath terrifying, collapsing echoes loudly, using every strike to strengthen courage. Hunter Zare faced shadows beside ancient, chain-hidden gates, standing between his people and the darkness. The shadows wore forgotten villagers' exhausted, hollow faces silently, making the horror impossible to ignore. Hunter Zare recognized missing children beside endless darkness underneath, and grief nearly broke his resolve. Chief Orlan collapsed quietly beside broken sacred altar stones, finally crushed beneath the weight of his choices. Priestess Maela wept softly beneath burning mountain skies tonight, mourning both the living and the lost. Tavi reached toward Hunter Zare through drifting smoke slowly, reminding him that hope still remained. Hunter Zare opened gates before terrified silent witnesses gathered, choosing courage despite the terrible risk. The trapped spirits escaped beside roaring midnight winds together, rising into the sky after years of suffering. Shadows dissolved slowly beneath trembling silver morning sunlight afterward, their power finally broken. Old midwife Sani carried herbs across peaceful, empty streets, sensing a calm that had been absent for years. Farmer Joran planted seeds beside fresh-watered soil carefully, believing new life could grow again. Twins Lyra and Luma laughed beside repaired market lanterns, their joy returning to the village. Sela braided little Pina's hair beside glowing fireplaces gently, replacing fear with warmth and comfort. Blind drummer Nico played softer rhythms beneath returning bird songs peacefully, welcoming a new beginning. Hunter Zare walked forests without hearing whispers afterward anymore, finally finding the silence he had sought. Priestess Mila watched sunrise beside calm, flowing riverbanks silently, reflecting on everything that had changed. Chief Orlan rested alone beneath unnamed weathered gravestones forever, remembered as both protector and warning. Tavi followed Hunter Zare through brightening, silent grasslands hopefully, ready to learn from the future rather than fear the past. The village remembered pain without surrendering future kindness forever, carrying its scars while choosing compassion.
Truly.
And shadows finally rested beside forgiving human hearts peacefully, leaving Umara beneath a sky filled with hope once more.